Hari Bol. He would wake up everyone, rise and rejoice to the name Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
In this way, they danced continuously for 12 hours, and in the evening they all took a bath in the Ganges and then returned to their homes. The Lord ordered all the citizens of Navadvip to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and in each and every home they began performing Sankirtana regularly. All the devotees sang this popular song along with Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaya, Gopala Govinda Rama Sri Madhusudana. I think that's the song. When the Sankirtana movement thus started, no one in Navadvip could hear any sound other than the words Hari Hari, and the beating of the mridanga was clashing of handbells. Hearing the resounding vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the local Muslims, greatly angry, submitted the complaint to the Qazi. Chand Kazi angrily came to one home in the evening, and when he saw kirtana going on, he broke a mridanga and spoke as follows. For so long you did not follow the regulative principles of the Hindu religion, but now you are following them with great enthusiasm. May I know by whose strength you are doing so. No one should perform Sankirtana on the streets in the city. Today I am excusing the offense and returning home. The next time I see someone performing such Sankirtana, I shall certainly chastise him by not only confiscating all his property, but also converting him into a Muslim. After saying this, the Qazi returned home, and the devotees, greatly shocked that they were forbidden to chant Hare Krishna, submitted their grief to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya ordered, "Go perform Sankirtana. Today I shall kill all the Muslims." Returning home, all the citizens began performing Sankirtana. But because of the order of the Qazi, they were not carefree, but always full of anxiety. Understanding the anxiety within the people's mind, the Lord called them together and spoke to them as follows. In the evening I shall perform Sankirtana in each and every town. Therefore you should all decorate the city in the evening. In the evening burn torchlights in every home. I shall give protection to everyone. Let us see what kind of Qazi comes to stop our kirtan. In the evening, Lord Gaurachundara went out and formed 3 parties to perform kirtan. In the front party danced Thakura Haridas, and in the middle party danced Advaitacharya with great jubilation. Lord Gaurasundara himself danced in the raid party, and Sri Nityananda moved with Lord Chaitanya's dancing. By the grace of the Lord, Srila Vrindavan Dasa Thakura has elaborately described this incident in the Chaitanya Mangala, performing kirtan in this way. Circumambulating through every nook and corner in the city, they finally reached the door of the Kazi. Murmuring in anger and making a roaring sound, the people, under the protection of Lord Chaitanya, became mad through such indulgence. The loud sound of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra certainly made the Kazi very much afraid, and he hid himself within his room. Hearing the people thus protesting, murmuring in great anger, the Kazi would not come out of his home. Naturally, some of the people, who were very much agitated, began to retaliate the Kazi's actions by wrecking his house and flower garden. Srila Vrindavana Dasa Thakura has elaborately described this incident. Thereafter, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached the Kazi's house, he sat down by the doorway and sent some respectable persons to call for the Kazi. When the Kazi came, his head bowed down, the Lord gave him proper respect and a seat. In a friendly way, the Lord said, "Sir, I have come to your house as your guest, but upon seeing me, you hid yourself in your room. What kind of etiquette is this?" The Kazi replied, "You have come to my house in a very angry mood. To pacify you, I did not come before you immediately, but kept myself hidden." Rama Rama Hari Hari. The Kazi replied, "You have come to my house in a very angry mood. To pacify you, I did not come before you immediately, but kept myself hidden. Now that you have become pacified, I have come to you. It is my good fortune to receive a guest like your honor. In our village relationship, Nilambara Chakravarti Thakura was my uncle. Such a relationship is stronger than a bodily relationship." Nilambara Chakravarta is your maternal grandfather, and by this relationship you are thus my nephew. When a nephew is very angry, his maternal uncle is tolerant. And when the maternal uncle commits an offense, the nephew does not take it very seriously. In this way, the Kazi and the Lord talked with each other with various indications, but no outsider could understand the inner meaning of their conversation. The Lord said, "My dear uncle, I have come to your home just to ask you some questions." "Yes," the Kazi replied, "you are welcome. Just tell me what is in your mind." The Lord said, "You drink cow's milk, therefore the cow is your mother, and the bull produces grains for your maintenance, therefore he is your father. Since the bull and cow are your father and mother, how can you kill and eat them? What kind of religious principle is this?" On what strength are you so daring that you commit such sinful activities? The Kazi replied, as you have your scriptures, called the Vedas and Puranas, we have our scriptures, known as the Holy Koran. According to the Koran, there are two ways of advancement, through increasing the propensity to enjoy and through decreasing the propensity to enjoy. On the path of decreasing attachment, the killing of animals is prohibited. On the path of maternal activities, there is regulation for killing cows. If such killing is done under the guidance of scriptures, there is no sin. As a learned scholar, the Kazi challenged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In your Vedic scriptures, there is an injunction for killing a cow. On the strength of these injunctions, great sages performed sacrifices involving cow killing. Refuting the Kazi statement, the Lord immediately replied, the Vedas clearly enjoin that cows should not be killed. Therefore, every Hindu, whoever he may be, avoids indulging in cow killing. In the Vedas and Puranas, there are injunctions declaring that if one can revive a living being, one can kill it for experimental purposes. Therefore, the great sages sometimes killed old cows, and by chanting Vedic hymns, they brought them back to life for perfection. The killing and rejuvenation of such old and invalid cows was not truly killing, but an act of great benefit. Formerly, there were powerful Brahmanas who could make such experiment using Vedic hymns, but now, because of the Kali Yuga, Brahmanas are not so powerful. Therefore, the killing of cows and bulls for rejuvenation is forbidden. In this age of Kali, 5 acts are forbidden: the offering of a horse in sacrifice, the offering of a cow in sacrifice, the acceptance of the order of sannyas, the offering of oblations of flesh to the forefathers, and the man's begetting children in his brother's wife. Since you Muslims cannot bring killed cows back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Cow killers are condemned to rot in hellish life for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of the cow. There are many mistakes and illusions in your scriptures. Their compilers, not knowing the essence of knowledge, gave orders that were against reason and argument. After hearing these statements by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Kazi, his arguments done, could not put forward any more words. Thus, after due consideration, the Kazi accepted defeat and spoke as follows. My dear Nimai Pandita, what you have said is all true. Our scriptures have developed only recently, and they are certainly not logical and philosophical. I know that our scriptures are full of imagination and mistaken ideas, yet because I am a Muslim, I accept them for the sake of my community. despite their insufficient support. The reasoning and arguments in the scriptures of the meat-eaters are not very sound, the Kazi concluded. Upon hearing this statement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and inquired from him as follows: "My dear maternal uncle, I wish to ask you another question. Please tell me the truth. Do not try to cheat me with tricks. In your city there is always congregational chanting of the holy name. The tumultuous uproar of music, singing and dancing is always going on. As a Muslim magistrate, you have the right to oppose the performance of Hindu ceremonies, but now you do not forbid them. I cannot understand the reason why." The Qazi said, "Everyone calls you Gorahari. Please let me address you by that name. Kindly listen, O Gorahari. If you come to a private place, I shall then explain the reason." The Lord replied, "All these men are my confidential associates. You may speak frankly. There is no reason to be afraid of them." The Qazi said, "When I went to the Hindu's house, broke the drum, and forbade the performance of congregational chanting in my dreams, that very night I saw a greatly fearful lion roaring very loudly, his body like a human being and his face like a lion. While I was asleep, the lion jumped on my chest, laughing fiercely and gnashing his teeth. Placing his nails on my chest, the lion said in a grave voice, 'I shall at once bifurcate your chest as you broke the mridanga drum. You have forbidden the performance of my congregational chanting, therefore I must destroy you.' Being very much afraid of him, I closed my eyes and I trembled. Seeing me so afraid, the lion said, 'I have defeated you just to teach you a lesson, but I must be merciful to you. On that day you did not create a very great disturbance. Therefore I have excused you and not taken your life. But if you perform such activities again, I shall not be tolerant. At that time I shall kill you, your entire family, and all the meat-eaters.' After saying this, the lion left. But I was very much afraid of him. Just see the marks of his nails on my heart." After these descriptions, the Qazi showed his chest. Having heard him and seen the marks, all the people there accepted the wonderful incident. The Qazi continued, "I did not speak to anyone about this incident, but on that very day of my orderlies came to see me. After coming to me, the orderly said, when I went to stop the congregational chanting, suddenly flames struck my face. My beard was burned, and there were blisters on my chest, on my cheeks. Every orderly who went gave the same description. After seeing this, I was very much afraid. I asked them not to stop the congregational chanting, but to go sit down at home. Then all the meat-eaters, hearing that there would be unrestricted congregational chanting in the city, came to submit a petition. The religion of the Hindus has increased unlimited. There are always vibrations of Hari Hari. We do not hear anything but this. The meat-eater said, the Hindus say, Krishna, Krishna, and they laugh, cry, dance, chant and fell on the ground, smearing their bodies with dirt. Vibrating, Hari, Hari, the Hindus make a tumultuous sound. If the king hears it, certainly he will punish you. And then inquired from these Yavanas, I know that these Hindus by nature chant Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Hindus chant the name Hari because that's the name of their Lord. But you are Muslim meat-eaters, why do you chant the name of the Hindu gods? The meat-eater replied, sometimes I joke with the Hindus. Some of them are called Krishnadasa and some are called Ramadasa. Some of them are called Haridasa. They always chant Hari, Hari, and thus I thought they would steal the riches from someone's houses. Since that time, my tongue always vibrates the sound Hari, Hari. I have no desire to say it, but still my tongue says it. I do not know what to do. Another meat-eater said, Sir, please hear me. Since the day I joke with some Hindus in this way, my tongue chants the Hare Krishna hymn and cannot give it up. I do not know what mystic hymns and herbal potions these Hindus know. After hearing all this, I sent all the mlechas back to their homes. 5 or 7 non-believing Hindus then approached me. Coming to me, the Hindus complained, Nimai Pandita has broken the Hindu religious principles. He has introduced the Sankirtan system, which we never heard from any scripture, where we keep an eye-long Virgil to observe religious performance for the worship of Mangala Chandi and Visahari, playing on musical instruments, dancing and chanting are certainly fitting customs. Nimai Panditi was previously a very good boy, but since he has returned from Gaya, he conducts himself differently. Now he loudly sings all kinds of songs, claps and plays drums and hand cymbals, making a tumultuous sound that deafens our ears. Deafens our feet. We do not know what he eats and makes him become mad, so that he dances, sings, sometimes laughs, cries, falls down, jumps up and rolls on the ground. He has made all the people practically mad by always performing congregational chanting. At night we cannot get any sleep. We are always kept awake. Now he has given up his own name, Nimai, and introduced it himself by the name Gaurahari. He has spoiled the Hindu religious principles and introduced the irreligion and non-believers. Now the lower classes are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra again and again. For this sinful activity, the entire city of Navadvip will become deserted. According to Hindu scripture, God's name is the most powerful hymn. If everyone hears the chanting of the name, the potency of the hymn will be lost. Sir, you are the ruler of this town. Whether Hindu or Muslim, everyone is under your protection. Therefore, please call me my Pandita and make him leave the town. After hearing their complaints, in sweet words I told him, please go back home. I shall certainly prohibit my Pandita from continuing his Hare Krishna movement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I know that Narayana is the supreme god of the Hindus, and I think that you are the same Narayana. This I feel within my mind. After hearing the Kasa speak so nicely, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched him and smilingly spoke as follows. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna from your mouth has performed a wonder. It has nullified the reactions of all your sinful activities. Now you have become supremely pure. Because you have chanted 3 holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna and Narayana, you are undoubtedly the most fortunate and pious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. After the Kasi heard this, tears flowed down from his eyes. He immediately touched the lotus feet of the Lord and spoke the following sweet words. Only by your mercy have my bad intentions vanished. Kindly favor me so that my devotion may always be fixed upon you. The Lord said, I wish to beg you for one favor in charity. You must pledge that this Sankirtan movement will not be checked, at least in the district of Nadia. The Qazi said, to as many descendants as take birth in my dynasty in the future, I give this grave admonition. No one should check the Sankirtana movement. Hearing this, the Lord got up, chanting, Hari, Hari. Following him, all the other Vaishnavas also got up, chanting the vibration of the holy name. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went back to perform kirtana, and the Qazi, his mind jubilant, went with him. The Lord asked the Qazi to go back home. Then the son of Madhusachi came back to his own home, dancing and dancing. This is the incident concerning the Kasa and the Lord's mercy upon him. Anyone who hears this is also freed from all offenses. One day the true brothers, Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, were dancing in the holy house of Srivasa Thakura. At that time, a calamity took place. Srivasa Thakura's son died. Yet Srivasa Thakura was not at all sorry. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caused the dead son to speak about knowledge, and then the two brothers personally became the sons of Srivasa Thakura. Thereafter, the Lord charitably bestowed his benediction upon all his devotees. He gave the remnants of his food to Narayani, showing her special respect. There was a tailor who was a meat-eater, but was sewing garments for Srivasa Thakura. The Lord, being merciful to him, showed him his own form. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Saying, I have seen, and dancing in ecstatic love, as starved mad, he became a first-class Vaishnava. In ecstasy, the Lord asked Srivasa Thakura to deliver his flute, but Srivasa Thakura replied, your flute has been stolen away by the gopis. Hearing this reply, the Lord said in ecstasy, go on talking. Thus Srivasa described the transcendental mellows of the pastime of Sri Vrindavan. In the beginning, Srivasa Thakura described the transcendental sweetness of Vrindavan's pastimes. Hearing this, the Lord felt great and increasing jubilation in his heart. Thereafter, the Lord again and again asked him, speak on. Thus Srivasa again and again described the pastimes of Vrindavan, vividly expanding them. Srivasa Thakura extensively explained how the gopis were attracted to the forests of Vrindavan by the vibrations of Krishna's flute, and how they wandered together in the forest. Srivasa Pandita related all the pastimes enacted during the 6 changing seasons. He described the drinking of honey, the celebration of the Rasa dance, the swimming in the Yamuna, and other such incidents. When the Lord, hearing with great pleasure, he said, go on speaking. Srivasa Thakura described the Rasa Lila dance, which is filled with transcendental mellows. As the Lord thus requested, and Srivasa Thakura spoke, the morning appeared, and the Lord embraced Srivasa Thakura and satisfied him. Thereafter, a dramatization of Krishna's pastimes was performed in the house of Sri Chandrasekhara Acharya. The Lord Personal took the part of Rukmini, the foremost of Krishna's queens. The Lord sometimes took the part of Goddess Durga, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, or the chief potency, Yoga Maya. Sitting on a cot, he delivered love of Godhead to all the devotees present. One day, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had finished his dancing, a woman, the wife of a Brahmana, came there and caught hold of his lotus feet. As she took the dust of his lotus feet, again and again the Lord became unlimitedly unhappy. Immediately he ran to the river Ganges and jumped in to counteract the sinful activities of that woman. Lord Nityananda and Haridasa Thakura caught him and raised him from the river. That night the Lord stayed at the house of Priya Acharya. In the morning the Lord took all his devotees and he returned home. One day, the Lord, in the ecstasy of the gopis, was sitting in his house. Very morose in separation, he was calling, "Gopi, Gopi." A student who came to see the Lord was astonished that the Lord was chanting, "Gopi, Gopi." Thus he spoke as follows: "Why are you chanting the names Gopi, Gopi instead of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which is so glorious? What pious result will you achieve by such chanting?" Hearing the foolish student, the Lord became greatly angry and rebuked Lord Krishna in various ways. Taking up a stick, he rose to strike the student. The student ran away in fear, and the Lord followed him. But somehow or other, the devotees checked the Lord. The devotees pacified the Lord and brought him home, and the student ran away to an assembly of other students. The Brahman student ran to a place where 1,000 students were studying together. He described the incident to them. Hearing of the incident, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. Nimai Pandita alone has spoiled the entire country, they accused. He wants to strike a caste brahmana. He has no fear of religious principles. If he again performs such an atrocious act, certainly we shall retaliate and strike him in turn. What kind of important person is he that he can check us in this way? When all the students thus resolved, criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their intelligence was spoiled. Thus, although they were learned scholars, because of this offense, the essence of knowledge was not manifested in them. But the proud student community did not become submissive. On the contrary, the students spoke of the incidents anywhere and everywhere. In a laughing manner they criticized the Lord. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, could understand the degradation of these students. Thus he sat at home, contemplating how to rescue them. All the so-called professors and scientists and their students generally follow the regulative principles of religion, fruitive activities, and austerities. The Lord thought, yet at the same time they are blasphemers and rogues. If I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing the offense of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take to it. I have come to deliver all the fallen souls, but now just the opposite has happened. How can these rocks be delivered? How many they be benefited? If these rocks offer me obeisances, the reaction of their sinful activities will be nullified. Then, if I induce them, they will take to devotional service. I must certainly deliver all these fallen souls who blaspheme me and do not offer me obeisances. I shall accept the sannyasa's order of life, for these people will offer me their obeisances. thinking of me as a member of the renounced order. Offering obeisances will relieve them of all the reactions of their offenses. Then by my grace, devotional service will awaken in their pure hearts. All the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There is no alternative. There is the essence of the argument. After coming in this firm conclusion, the Lord continued to stay at home. In the meantime, Kesava Bharati came to the town of Nadia. The Lord offered him respectful obeisances and invited him to his house. After feeding him sumptuously, he submitted to him his petition. Sir, you are directly Narayana, therefore please be merciful unto me. Deliver me from this material bondage. Kesava Bharati replied to the world, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I must do whatever you cause me to do. I am not independent of you. After saying this, Kesava Bharati, the spiritual master, went back to his village. Gatva, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went there and accepted the renounced order of life. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyasi, 3 personalities were with him to perform all the necessary activities. They were Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhara Acharya, and Mukunda Datta. Thus I have summarized the incidents of the Lila. Srila Vrindavan Dasa Thakura has described them elaborately in his Chaitanya Bhagavatam. The same Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared as the son of Mother Yasoda, has now appeared as the son of Mother Sachi, relishing for kinds of devotional activities. The taste of mellows of Srimati Radharani's loving affairs in her relationship with Krishna, and to understand the reservoir of pleasure in Krishna, Krishna himself, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accepted the mood of Radharani. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the mood of the gopis, who accept Vrajendranandana Sri Krishna as their lover. It is firmly concluded that the ecstatic mood of the gopis is possible only before Krishna and no one else. He has a bluish complexion, a peacock feather on his head, a gunja garland, and the decorations of a cowboy. His body is curved in 3 places, and he holds a flute in his mouth. If Lord Krishna gives up this original form and assumes another Vishnu form, nearness to him cannot invoke the ecstatic mood of the gopis. Once Lord Krishna playfully manifested himself as Narayana with 4 victorious hands and a very beautiful form. When the gopis saw this exalted form, however, their ecstatic feelings were gripped. Even a learned scholar therefore cannot understand the gopis and their ecstatic feelings, which are firmly fixed and upon the original form of Lord Krishna as the son of Nanda Maharaj. The wonderful feelings of the gopis in ecstatic parama rasa with Krishna constitute the greatest mystery in spiritual life. During the season of springtime, when the rasa dance was going on, suddenly Krishna disappeared from the scene, indicating that he wanted to be alone with Srimati Radharani. Krishna was sitting in a solitary bush waiting for Srimati Radharani to pass by. But while he was searching, the gopis arrived there, like a phalanx of soldiers. Just see, the gopi said, seeing Krishna from a distant place. Here within a bush is Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. As soon as Krishna saw all the gopis, he was struck with emotion. Thus he could not hide himself, and out of fear he became motionless. Krishna assumed his four-armed Narayana and his form and sat there. When all the gopis came, they looked at him and spoke as follows. O Lord Narayana, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Kindly be merciful to us. Give us the association of Krishna and thus vanquish our lamentation. After saying this and offering obeisances, all the gopis dispersed. Then Srimati Radharani came and appeared before Sri Krishna. When Lord Krishna saw Radharani, he wanted to maintain the four-armed form to joke with her. In front of Srimati Radharani, however, Sri Krishna had to hide the two extra arms. He tried his best to keep four arms before her, but he was completely unable to do so. The influence of Radharani's pure ecstasy is so inconceivably great that it forced Krishna to come to his original two-armed form. Prior to the rasa dance, Lord Krishna hid himself in a grove just to have fun. When the gopis came, their eyes resembling those of deer, by his sharp intelligence, he exhibited his beautiful four-armed form to hide himself. But when Srimati Radharani came there, Krishna could not maintain his four arms in her presence. This is the wonderful glory of her love. Father Nanda, the king of Rajabhuma, is now Jagannath Mishra, and father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mother Yasoda, the queen of Rajadhumi, is now Sachideva, Lord Chaitanya's mother. The former son of Nanda Maharaj is now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the former Baladeva, Krishna's brother, is now Nityananda Prabhu, the brother of Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always feels the ecstatic emotion of paternity, servitude, and friendship. He always assists Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that way. Sri Nityananda Prabhu overflooded the entire world by distributing transcendental loving service. No one can understand his character and activities. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu appeared as an incarnation of a devotee. He is in the category of Krishna, but he descended to this earth to propagate devotional service. His natural emotions were always on the platform of fraternity and servitude, but the Lord sometimes treated him as his spiritual master. All the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Srivasa Thakura, have their own emotional humors in which they render service unto him. Personal associates like Gadadhara Pandita, Svarupa Damodara, Ramananda Raya, and the 6 Goswamis, headed by Rupa Goswami, are all situated in their respective transcendental humors. Thus the Lord submits to various positions in various transcendental mellows. In Krishna Lila, the Lord's complexion is blackish. Holding a flute to his mouth, he enjoys as a cowherd boy. Now the selfsame person has appeared with a fair complexion, sometimes acting as a Brahmana, and sometimes accepting the renounced order of life. Therefore the Lord himself, accepting the emotional ecstasy of the gopis, now addresses the son of Nanda Maharaj. O master of my life, O my dear husband. He is Krishna, yes, he has accepted the mood of the gopis. How is it so? It is the inconceivable character of the Lord, which is very difficult to understand. One cannot understand the contradictions in Lord Chaitanya's character by putting forward mundane logic and arguments. Consequently, one should not maintain doubts in this connection. One should simply try to understand the inconceivable energy of Krishna. Otherwise, one cannot understand how such contradictions are possible. The pastimes of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are inconceivable and wonderful. His ecstasy is wonderful. His qualities are wonderful, and his behavior is wonderful. If one simply adheres to mundane arguments and therefore does not accept this, he will boil in the hell of Kumbhipaka. For him there is no deliverance. Anything transcendental to material nature is called unconceivable. Various arguments are all mundane. Since mundane arguments cannot touch transcendental subject matters, one should not try to understand transcendental subjects through mundane arguments. Only a person who has firm faith in the wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can approach his lotus feet. In this discourse, I have explained the essence of the devotional conclusion. Anyone who hears this develops unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. If I repeat what is already written, I may thus relish the purpose of this scripture. We can see in the scripture Srimad Bhagavatam the conduct of its author. Sri Vyasadeva. After speaking the narration, he repeats it again and again. Therefore, I shall enumerate the chapters of the Adi Lila. In the first chapter, I offer obeisances to the spiritual master. For this is the beginning of auspicious writing. The second chapter explains the truth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, has now appeared as the son of Mother Sachi. The third chapter describes the general cause of his appearance. The third chapter specifically describes the distribution of love of Godhead. It also describes the religion of the age, which is simply to distribute the holy name of Lord Krishna and propagate the process of loving him. The fourth chapter describes the main reason for his appearance, which is to taste the mellows of his own transcendental loving service and his own sweetness. The fifth chapter describes the truth of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is none other than Balarama, the son of Rohini. The sixth chapter considers the truth of Advaita Acharya. He is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. The seventh chapter describes the Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, and Srivasa. They all combine together to distribute love of Godhead everywhere. The eighth chapter gives the reason for describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. It also describes the greatness of Lord Krishna's holy names. The ninth chapter described the desire tree of devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is the gardener who planted it. The 10th chapter described the branches and sub-branches of the main trunk and the distribution of their fruits. The 11th chapter describes the branch called Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The 12th chapter describes the branch called Sri Advaita Prabhu. The 13th chapter describes the birth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which took place with the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. The 14th chapter gives some descriptions of the Lord's childhood times. The 15th briefly describes the Lord's boyhood times. In the 16th chapter, I have indicated the pastimes of the Kaishora age. In the 17th chapter, I have specifically described his youthful pastimes. Thus, there are 17 varieties of subjects of the first canto, which is known as the Adi Lila. 12 of these constitute the preface of the scripture. After the chapters of the preface, I have described 5 transcendental mellows in 5 chapters. I have described them very briefly rather than expansively. By the order and strength of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Srila Vrindavan Dasa Thakura has elaborately described in his Chaitanya Mangala all that I have not. The pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are wonderful and unlimited. Even personalities like God Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Sesanaga cannot find their end. Anyone who describes or hears any part of this elaborate subject will very soon receive the causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Herein the author again describes the Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi, and all the devotees of Lord Krishna Chaitanya. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the residents of Vrindavan. I wish to place their lotus feet on my head in great humbleness. I wish to place the lotus feet of the Goswamis on my head. Their names are Sri Svarupa Damodara, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, and Sri Jiva Goswami. Placing their lotus feet on my head, always hoping to serve them, I, Krishna Dasa, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. And this is the end of the Lila. Well, this was it. Thank you everybody for your association. Hare Krishna. See you next time. Bye.